You're the biggest, strongest person in the room. Everyone notices you. Everyone respects you. And then someone small walks in, quiet, unnoticed, easy to ignore. Would you value them, or would you overlook them? Today's story is called The Elephant and the Mouse, and it carries a powerful truth that connects deeply with what the Bible teaches. A strong elephant once walked proudly through the jungle. With every step, the ground seemed to shake, birds flew from the trees, and other animals moved out of the way. He knew he was big, he knew he was powerful, and if he was honest, he kind of liked it. One day, as he made his way past a quiet path, he noticed a tiny mouse, small, soft, almost invisible. The elephant stopped and laughed. "You?" he said with a smirk. "You're so small! What could you possibly do?" The mouse didn't argue, didn't get angry, and didn't try to prove anything. He simply looked up and stayed quiet, and the elephant walked away, still chuckling to himself. Now pause for a second. Have you ever done that? Maybe not out loud, but in your mind? You see someone and think, they're not important, they can't help me, or they don't matter. It's easy to measure people by what we see, but God doesn't see the way we see. In the Bible, in 1 Samuel 16:7, it says, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." That means what looks small to us might be powerful in ways we don't understand. Days passed, and the elephant continued living his life, strong, confident, untouchable. Until one day, everything changed. As he walked through the forest, he suddenly felt the ground shift beneath him. Before he could react, snap! The ground cracked. A hunter's net tightened around him. Ropes pulled from every direction. His legs were trapped. His strength became useless. The elephant struggled, pushed, pulled, and roared loudly, hoping someone would hear him. But no matter how strong he was, he couldn't break free. For the first time in a long time, he felt helpless. Let's pause again. What do you do when your strength isn't enough? When your talent, confidence, or resources just don't work? Because moments like that come for everyone, even the strongest. Back in the forest, lying trapped, a small figure appeared quietly, steady and determined. It was the mouse, the same one the elephant had laughed at before. The mouse looked at the ropes, and without making a big speech, he got to work. He began to chew tiny bite by tiny bite. It wasn't loud, it wasn't flashy, and it didn't look impressive. But the mouse was steady and persistent. One rope snapped, then another, and then another. Finally, the net loosened, and the great elephant was free. The elephant stood up slowly, not with pride, but with humility. He looked down at the little mouse, the one he once mocked, and bowed his head. He said quietly, "I learned something today." The mouse didn't need to say anything, because the lesson was already clear. This story reflects something powerful the Bible teaches in 1 Corinthians 12:22. It says, "Those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable." Did you catch that? Not just useful or helpful, but indispensable. That means necessary, essential, and irreplaceable. The parts that seem small often matter most. Think about it. A kind word, a small act of obedience, a quiet prayer, or a moment of courage when no one is watching. These things may seem small, but they carry big impact, just like the mouse. So, here's a question for you to think about. Who have you been overlooking? Someone at school, at home, or in your church? Or maybe you've been overlooking yourself, thinking, "I'm too small, I'm not important," or "I don't have much to offer." But this story reminds us that's not true. God can use anyone at any size at any moment. And here's a deeper challenge. Will you choose to be like the elephant before the lesson or after? Will you measure people by what you see or honor them for who they are? Because kindness and respect aren't just nice ideas, they are powerful. Remember, kindness and respect. You are never too small to make a big difference. If this message spoke to you, take a moment to reflect on it. Share it with someone who needs encouragement. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Sight Kids and Niños con Visión.